Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute drip cup on the coffee mug. Stick around to the end of the video because I did have a couple issues with this cup and I want to tell you all about them. Always start by prepping your cup, and then you want a base coat. Since I'm doing a white glitter, I just needed a white base coat, so I am doing universal white. I ended up doing 2 coats to get good coverage before my glitter. Let each coat dry for 4 hours. For this cup, I applied my glitter using Brite Tone. I just brushed it all over the cup. You could also use the glitter glue for this step. I just started this cup before that existed. Once your cup is covered with your Brite Tone, you can sprinkle on your glitter. If you have a matching base coat, you will likely just need 1 coat. If you need a second coat, you can use glitter glue to do that as well. Let this dry for 4 hours. You want to seal it up and do your layers of Brite Tone. If you want more in-depth detail on how to add glitter, I will link a video right now. But you're going to do 4 coats of Brite Tone, give it a light sand, then 3 coats of Brite Tone, sand, and do that until you have a smooth surface. Once your surface is smooth, you can add your decal. For this cup, I'm using a WATERSLIDE image. I did purchase the donut and coffee image and added some text to it. You want to soak it for about 60 seconds, but just look at your directions to be sure. I will link the brand I use down below. You also want to make sure that it is sealed. I have a video about sealing water slides that I will link for you to watch, but I do clear spray paint, Plastidip, and clear spray paint sandwich. I let it dry for 24 hours, and then I add it to my cup. Once I slide it on my cup, I take my little silicone brush and squeegee out any of the water. You can dry the cup with a paper towel, and then I let this dry for an additional 24 hours. So you want to make sure that 48 hours have passed since you last added your spray paint. So I add it to my cup after 24 and then let it dry for 24. I did 3 coats of Brite Tone over the top of this WATERSLIDE. I just used a brush to apply 3 coats, waiting 4 hours in between each coat. To do the drips, I used puffy paint mixed with mica powder, and I have the faux sprinkles that I put over that. So I just decided to squeeze a little bit into the cup, just as an FYI, this was not nearly enough, so you kind of use a lot of puffy paint. So mix up a bunch, and then I mixed in mica powders. It did seem like it took a really long time to get it to mix properly, so you may want to try a liquid mica or even the pigments, or if you can find the right color of puffy paint, that obviously would work too. So once it was mixed together, I just took a popsicle stick and kind of globbed it on the top. I went all the way around the cup. I wasn't worried about actual drips yet. I was just putting it all around the top. And then I went back in a few other places to specifically add more paint because I knew I wanted it to drip down further in other spots. I sort of just went back and plopped on a little bit more puffy paint. So then to actually get it to drip, I'm going to move my camera and show you that I just tapped it lightly on the table and it dripped down just a little bit. And that's it. I just tapped it really lightly and kind of got it to where I wanted it. Then I took some sharp tweezers and just picked up my sprinkles and placed them on the cup. I did end up having some issues with the sprinkles, and I'll talk about that in just a second. So you want to make sure that this paint dries out really well. Give it several days before you put any Brite Tone on top. So because I want to make sure that I have a sealer on top of the paint, so I'm not putting my mouth directly on that paint. I'm sure it's fine, but obviously we know for sure Brite Tone is very, very safe. So I did about 3 or 4 coats of Brite Tone over the top of this cup. Make sure you let each coat dry for 4 hours, and then you'll let it completely dry out after that for several days. Okay, so the first thing that I need to tell you to do is when you're doing mugs like this, before you start even spinning your cup, do the handle with your brush or your finger, but while it is not spinning, do the handle, and then you can start spinning it and do the rest of the cup. You can see that I just had a little too much pool in that area, so it doesn't look great, especially since it's white. You can tell that it looks a little bit yellow, and that's totally on me for having it too thick in those spots. It's hard to avoid. These cups are hard to do, but if you just do the handle before you spin it, it will help, I promise. The second issue I had was that my sprinkles bled a little bit. So I don't 100% know what to do about that. The pink ones seem to be worse, but maybe I can try to test some other brands, but I just think maybe next time I'll just spray paint if I use them again. I was kind of bummed. It's barely noticeable, especially from afar, and it's a personal cup, so I'm not super sad about it, but it is something to keep in mind. Once this was cured, I cleaned out the inside of the cup. If you are interested in the easiest way to clean out the inside of the cup, join me in the next video.